Hi everyone, so today I'm going to be doing the mid-year pickup chat. I'm also going to do a mid-year check-in and kind of talk about my recent reads, my goals, how I'm doing with them, and some reading plans, and just do a mid-year check-in, chat with you about books, about my life, I guess, and everything. Like always, like in every single video, I leave timestamps in the description box in case you want to skip around some questions. Best book you've read so far in 2023. When I was looking at the books that I've read so far, it was very easy to choose a book, but it's actually books, like in plural. It's the Hunger Games series. I first read the book when I was a teenager when they were coming out, so it's not a new read per se, but it's a reread that it has made me happy actually. It was something that I needed in my life. The second question is best sequel you've read so far in 2023. And for this one, I'm going to say The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne. My voice is going away for some reason. Well, this is actually a prequel to the series, but I'm just going to say this book. This book was actually the reason why I decided to reread The Hunger Games. I have an entire reading vlog talking about this book and my amazing experience reading it. I cannot wait until I can see the movie in November. The cast is obviously so good, and from what I've seen in the trailer, I think it's going to be a good movie. New release you haven't read yet, but want to. The Wager, A Tale of Shipwreck, Mutiny and Murder. This book came out in February, I want to say, and I still haven't read it. I don't know why, because it just sounds amazing. The story is about a shipwreck where some survivors arrived to a land where they talked about the shipwreck and what happened, but then days after, weeks after, some other survivors arrived to the same land, but they tell a complete different story of what happened, so you don't know what actually happened in that shipwreck. And I obviously don't know what happened because I still haven't read the book. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I have a shelf on Goodreads with my 2023 releases, the ones I'm most excited for. The first one that comes to mind is In These Hallowed Halls. This is going to be short stories written by different authors. I know some stories are written by Emil Rio, which she wrote If We're Villains. I know Olivia Blake is also going to write a story. Then Good Bad Girl by Alice Feeny. You're Not Supposed to Die Today by Kalynn Bayron. Silvia Nitrate by Silvia Moreno-Garcia. The Only One Left by Riley Sager. In my summer TBR, I also talk about some new releases that I want to read. Biggest disappointment for this one, I'm going to say When No One Is Watching by Alyssa. This is a mystery thriller which is not mysterious or thrilling at all. I don't get this book. I always DNF books that I'm not liking, but my friend Rita loves this book, so I just wanted to give it a chance because maybe the ending was going to be amazing, so it was going to make up for the book, but no, sadly I didn't like it at all. So it was a big disappointment because I thought I was going to like, but also the romantic relationship came out of nowhere. It was very necessary and it just made the viewing experience even worse. For biggest surprise, The Tiger Came to the Mountains by Silvia Moreno-Garcia. This is a short story and it's a historical fiction set during the Mexican War. I was not expecting to get so emotionally invested in a short story. This book was amazing at writing the historical context, also some horror part when they were in the cave, and also the ending was heartbreaking but wholesome in a lot of ways. In the author's note, she wrote that she was inspired by her great-grandma to write this book because her great-grandma lived the Mexican War and she never learned how to read, so she inspired Silvia Moreno-Garcia to become a writer. If you have Prime Reading, it's free, it's on Prime. Favorite new author, debut or new to you? For this one, I'm going to say Irene Vallejo. This year I read El infinito, junco, la invención de los libros en el mundo antiguo. In English is Papyrus, the invention of books in the ancient world. This book is an ode to books, to history, to culture, to civilizations and everything in between. You can really tell that Irene Vallejo had the time of her life writing this book. Most of it is based in the Mediterranean region. She talks about Cleopatra, Alejandro Magno and so many important characters in our history. Then for newest fictional crush, I don't really tend to get crushes on book characters. I'm going to do fictional crush with favorite character, and it's Feeny from the Hunger Games. He was only on Catching Fire and Mockingjay, but he stole the show. He's an amazing character, and also having Sam Claflin play Feeny was such an amazing idea. There's a video on YouTube by Movie Flame which is about Feeny's character. It's a sad video obviously because Feeny didn't have the easiest of lives, but if you like the character, I think you will enjoy the video as well. Book that made you cry. Okay, this one is very easy. Pachinko by Min Jin Lee. Going to this book, I knew it was going to be sad. I just didn't know it was going to get under my skin and just make me feel for the characters so much. We follow four or five. It's either 4 or 5 generations of the same family. I connected so much with the first and second generation and kind of with the third generation. Whenever something happened to them, I just wanted to hug them and be with them. In this book, there's obviously the conflicts of war, and also the things that happen to women in this book are tragic, and also things that happen to the family. It's a tragic book. It's not light-hearted. You will have some very hard topics to read, but it's a book that I do recommend for everyone to read. A book that made you happy. The Hunger Games series, every single one of them. They're very gruesome and very graphic as well, but overall, the Hunger Games series, it makes me happy. Most beautiful book you've bought so far this year or received. For this one, I'm going to go with Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. I have a Spanish edition by Salamandra. This was a gift from my sister and her boyfriend. This book has so many things inside, the illustrations and everything. They are just so beautiful. What books do you need to read by the end of the year? I really want to tackle my physical TBR. I made an entire video with my physical TBR, which was basically my 2023 reading list. I have my physical TBR, the clutter section on my book statistics for 2023. Here on the right, I have all the books that I own physically, or the ones that my family members own and that I want to read. I also add them here. So I have the books, and then if I read them or if I DNF. And then here on the left, the books I read and I hold each month. Why it says read, it means the books that I physically own, because sometimes I read books on my Kindle or books that I borrow from the library or books that I buy. So by read, I mean the books I physically own. As you can see here, I still need to read 40 books. I've read 12% of my TBR, so that's not great. Most of the books that I own are either classics or historical fiction. I also have modern classics, and then here I have ancient classics. Classics actually take half of my TBR. I'm going to make a video talking about the classics that I own, so you can get an idea of how many classics I have. I love reading classics. It's just that I need to be in a very specific mode to read certain classics. Favorite book community member. I love watching my friends Kitty, Rita, and Mafalda. Mafalda's starting to upload videos again. What else do I watch? Afraid Through Fiction, I always watch her videos. Catherine Caras as well. I will leave some more in the description box in case you want to check them out. Bookish goals for the rest of the year. So in my diary, I have written down my bookish goals. Here I have a list of all my unread books and my physical TBR. So like I said, that's something that I want to continue accomplishing. And then here I have my goals for 2023. The first one was to read 60 books. So far, I don't know how I'm doing with that, but if I don't reach that, that's okay. The next one is the Dark Academia Challenge. I'm just going to tell you that in September, something regarding Dark Academia is coming. Hopefully you will be excited as well, because I'm very excited. The third goal was to tackle my physical TBR. I'm trying to do that. It's on the way. And then for the small reading challenges, I had read books set in an academic setting, then read witchcraft, folklore, mythology book, then read Victorian and romantic books, then read Mama recommendations, which are basically books recommended by my mother, then read translated books, then read Spanish and Catalan books. I could do so much better with my small reading challenges, but I am getting there. I'm going to prioritize them. Like you saw before, I have an entire spreadsheet for my 2023 book statistics. It's pretty in-depth. I spent a lot of time building it. I took some different spreadsheets and then kind of customized everything to my own, and I made different sections. I can make an entire video if you want me to at the end of the year explaining everything. These are my statistics by the time that I'm filming this. So far with my star ratings, they're good. Most of them are 4 stars, and then there's some 3 stars. These different tables make it look like a mess right now. At the end of the year, when everything is filled, it's going to make more sense. My average for fiction is 3.8 and for non-fiction is 4.1. Then I've only read 1 Spanish book. That's something that I want to change. Then for the nationality, most of them are from the United States. And then for book location, I've also read a book set in Mexico, but I have no idea why I'm not able to add it here. Like, I don't know how to color that in. I still haven't read anything from Oceania. I really want to change that, as well with Africa. So far, I haven't spent any money on books this year. All of them were gifts. I don't add the books I acquire from my library here. I just don't. I got 3 books in January because in Spain we exchange Christmas gifts on January on 3 wise men. We don't do Santa Claus. And I got 5 on April because of Sant Jordi. Sant Jordi is a Catalan, maybe Spanish tradition where we exchange books. And for the genres, they're quite diverse. So that was today's video. I hope you guys liked it. Thank you so much for watching and for supporting me and being here. I hope you like being part of my small community of people that love reading, art, and just culture and being kind to one another. I hope you guys have an amazing day and I will see you very soon. Bye!